What's going on, guys? It's Patrick and I'm back again with another saber reveal. I'm going to be putting this up for sale pretty soon. What it is, it's an Empire Strikes Back Graflex that's actually half vintage, half Graflex Shop Gen 2. And I'll go over that a little bit. But first, what I want to show you is the case that it comes in when you purchase it. It's it's sort of like a pelican case. It's a hard case with pluck foam inserts in it, and I'll just open it up and show you real quick what you get in the box. Alright, so when you open it up, what you'll see in here is, one, you'll see the saber, and what you'll see over here is you'll see this 2-cell bottom, which is a vintage Graflex Inc. 2-cell bottom, and over here, what you'll see in here is a late Fulmer glass eye. And what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to take these two things out, put them behind the box over here, and I'll just take these foam inserts out because I want to show you real quick where the charger is. If you lift up the second layer of foam, you can see your charger down here. It's just a standard 3.7 volt charger. You can put that back down there. Put the two inserts in, and you're good to go. I'll just put these back in here real quick. And I will move this here so I can show you the Graflex. So this was my 20th custom saber that I've created, so I wanted it to be a little bit special. So I put a lot of work into it, and I tried to make it as screen accurate as possible. And I'll just start from the bottom and work my way up. This is the Graflex Shop lower, and it's a Gen 2, which means it has the accurate stamping. And down here you will see the Wonawanga D-ring and the rivets. Actually, underneath the D-ring, let me see if we can focus in on it there. You can see a magnet underneath that keeps the D-ring held tightly in place. And there's a giant hole drilled out for sound ventilation. These grips are Todd's T-Track grips, and they are all cut a bit roughly. You can see little scratches. They're not bad scratches, but I just wanted to look what I saw in the shot in the Wampa Cave and incorporate all that onto this hilt. So these are held down with 3M tape, which is really, really tight. And on the grips you can see the mildly weathered Wonawanga screws. Now let's see if we can focus in on that. There we go. You can see the Wonawanga screws. You can see a bit of the cuts. Like this cut right here is actually seen in the picture, and it's just across the top right here. And I even tried to get some of the little cuts on the bottom of the grips, like this curve right here. That can be seen on the prop too. Moving up to the clamp, this is a vintage clamp. It has a Sky Wampa mylar strip of tape and a sloth furnace vintage aged replica Otis card. The top is vintage. It has two vintage red buttons. Both are functional because this actually has the East Coast Sabers blade retention insert, so you can still press down, but it's non-functional. This red button acts as activation, and this replica TGS Gen 2 slide switch acts as auxiliary. Bunny ears are vintage. The rivet here is vintage. It was a bit scratched up, so I shaved it down, and now it's nice brass color. The pins are all vintage. This pin right here is, I can't tell if it shows up that well. It's a bit different shade than the others because I actually got this secondhand because this Graflex came with 3. But they are all vintage pins, and on camera they all look identical. And they're all smooth Fulmer pins. You can see the steel inserts in there. And this screw right here is actually a replica because the other screw is really chipped up. Alright, so moving to the top, you can see the blade plug, which has the spring contact in there. And this is using the NerfWorks Labs Solos Hold V2 Deluxe blade holder. And now I'll show you the inside. To get to the inside, what you do is you flip up this lever right here, twist it, push up, twist it carefully, and carefully slide it off. And now we can move on to the chassis. So here you can see the chassis is a Goth Master chassis, variant 2, that's been printed in nickel plated steel and in brass. And you can see all the brass accents running along here. I just wanted to give it a really cool look. Here's your recharge port down here with the kill key in it. A 28mm Veco bass speaker. And if you want to remove the chassis, what you do is you unscrew this front red button, and you can see your little blade retention insert there. Put that down and gently slide it out. Here you can see the blade plug. Slide that back in. You see the wire cover right here. Slide switch, activation switch. And under this little insert here, you can see your Prism soundboard. It's a Prism 5.5 with 6 Graflex sound fonts on it. To access your SD card, you flip this open, push on it to pull it out, and you push back on it to tighten it up. Yeah, that's pretty much all about the chassis. Let me show you guys real quick what this looks like when the recharge port is pulled out. So what you do is you just open this switch up, this little hatch right here, and you pull out your recharge port. And this has 6 Graflex sound fonts. The one it's on right now is Graflex 5 from Juan Sith. The next one is Bespin by Mad Cow, then Hoth by Mad Cow, then Dagobah by Lord Blako, then Episode 5 Ice Planet by Novastar, and to finish it off, The Force Awakens Graflex by Lord Blako. So I'll just give you guys a look at the crystal chamber when it's on. Both crystals start blinking. And it's a really nice sequence. And this has an 18650 lithium ion battery. And I just gotta say, with the bottom can on, this thing is really loud. So I'll just show you guys that real quick. Slide this back on really carefully. Line it up 90 degrees with either of the red buttons. Make sure this is not perfectly lined up with the you want to make sure the grips are a little bit off of the clamp right there, because that's how it's seen in the Wampa Cave scene. It looks sort of like that in the Wampa Cave scene. You can see these two grips, they're really far apart, which is accurate. And now here's Juan Sith's Graflex 5. You see that nice blue right there? The LED I actually have in here, it's not a blue-blue-white, it's a blue-white-white, because I wanted it to have sort of a pale blue look, like it has in the original film. And I gotta say, the blue-blue-white is really bright, and it comes out as a really nice blue. Some blasters, lock up. Let's try to get some Force sounds. It's where Luke hits Vader. Flashes. Off. Switch over to Bespin. Next font is Hoth. You can hear those Hoth winds. Let's see if we can get the force sound. There it is. That's the Wampa. Walk up and off. And I think the next font actually might be my favorite just because of the boot sound. This is Dagobah. This is a really cool font. Walk up, force sound, and off. The next font's pretty cool too. It replicates the battle at Hoth. There's some blaster sounds. And here's the walk-up. And off, you'll hear the Millennium Falcon. And finally, Lord Blaiko's Force Awakens Graflex, with the really nice bass ignition and hum. And off. So I'll just show you guys what it looks like with a blade inserted. This actually doesn't come with a blade because it comes in this little box here, but any 7/8 inch blade will fit as long as you sand it down just a tiny bit, because these Nerfworks Lab blade holders are pretty tight. You can see that nice pale blue. And in person this thing is super bright. Like at night I need to look away from it because it's just so bright. Let's go back to Graflex 5. Let's try to get some swings. This sometimes doesn't want to cooperate. Yeah, there you can see how bright it really is. It's really, really nice. And just turn it off. Unscrew that. Take the blade out. Put the blade plug in. And to put your SD card back in, you just either unscrew the lower or the clamp and the lower. Again, flip up that little hatch there. And insert it, and you are good to go. So this listing includes the saber, the 2-cell bottom, the charger, the glass eye, and this really nice case here. So yeah, I'm super happy with how this saber turned out. Recently I've been putting out a ton of Graflexes, so I'm going to try to work on something new. I'm currently working on a Phoenix Prop 7 Chambers Ultimate Hero. I know there's been some talk about how it's inaccurate, but I actually like how short it is and just how small it is, because at Launch Bay the hero prop they have on display there is super small. So I'll just put this back in the box, into the nice foam cutout meant for it. And that's about it, guys. If you're interested, check out the listing in the description, and as always, may the Force be with you. Thanks for watching.